Hello everyone, welcome back to EMMANUELS Montreal, and right now we're going to talk about the late 80s, early 90s, when this is before Spotify, before iTunes, before the obsession of people going on the internet. And how did bands promote themselves? By contributing to vinyl record samplers put in on magazines as a freebie. When you bought a magazine, and especially from Europe, when you bought European magazines, you got a free album sampler. That's right. That's how we discovered music in the 80s and the 90s. There was radio, but mostly we discovered music by buying magazines and getting the sampler with the actual songs of the artists. Nowadays, you discover everything right here on EMMANUELS Montreal and on YouTube and on Twitter. But back then, 80s and 90s, it was the magazine. That's what I miss about the good old days. You know, good old days where people are talking to me and they're saying, you're like old school, and you've stayed behind. You need to move forward, come into the now. Yeah, for certain things, yes, I come into the now. But when you look at things on a global scale, things were better back then in the 80s and 90s. So today I got a sampler for you. The magazine was called, I don't know if it's still around, my British friends, Calling All Astronauts, Bronny, Emma Locke, DM me. Tell me if magazines are still around that offer, well, now they wouldn't be offering vinyl, they're offering CDs, but vinyl was so cool. The magazine was called Record Mirror. I used to be like an avid fan, and here in Canada, in Montreal, we had a store called, two stores actually, no more. There's no more record stores in Montreal. Now they have Sunrise Records, but I don't know if when the crisis lifts, will there be a Sunrise Records? I gotta call them up and see. But back then, two stores offered you imports. Phantasmagoria on Sherbrooke and Park, and Dutchie's Record Cave on Saint Laurent de Maisonneuve. Dutchie's, it was amazing. It was 2 floors of alternativity. That's right, it reminded you of record stores in England, like the Virgin Megastore and HMV in England. So that's where I got my imported magazines. That's what basically I bought. I would buy like one magazine a month. It was Record Mirror. I was religiously buying it, and I would be paying $8.99. I would get the magazine, and I would get an album, and that's how I accumulated my taste. I acquired my taste, and as you see it evolve now on EMMANUELS Montreal, and the type of music that I like is mostly alternative, but everything basically, but progressive and alternative and rock and alternative rock and hard rock. I acquired that taste by 2 things actually: buying imported magazines from Europe and watching Much Music. Because up to a point, Much Music, when it started, was music. That's what its main premise was. And then after so many years, it just drifted off into reality TV. And so now there is no more music television, except again, right here on EMMANUELS Montreal. Because the whole point of doing music videos is to play them on a music channel. And nobody's doing it anymore. That's why EMMANUELS Montreal is an essential service for the rock community. Mark that down. EMMANUELS Montreal is an essential service for the rock community. But that's a totally different story. We're going to talk about that after, or on another segment. Right now, Record Mirror. Check this out. This is the sampler. Okay, this is the sampler. That's the front side, and this is the back side. Check it out. So on the sampler, it featured the Mighty Mighty Lemon Drops. Oh, I saw these guys when they came to Montreal at the old Spectrum. Amazing, amazing band. Westworld, World Party, and the Bodines, another amazing band that I never got a chance to see because they were coming at odd times. Back in the 80s, I used to go to school and I would have a part-time job, and shows that would come on a weeknight, there was no way I was going to go. You'd have to come on a Saturday night if you wanted me to be there. So yeah, but the Bodines, excellent band. And then they talk about... Actually, I'm going to read you this because this is amazing. Record Mirror, 80s, in the 80s, from England, London, England. Talking about Westworld. Barely 6 months old, Westworld are the name every record company have wanted on their roster since November. A London-based three-piece, they're set to be the most colorful newcomers of the year. Their Record Mirror track, Bubble Bow Diddley, will be followed by the mid-February release of their first major label single, Sonic Boom Boy. Westworld. Then, Mighty Mighty Lemon Drops, my favorite band from that era. The Fab Four from Wolverhampton, caught in glorious live action on Take Me Up, and the never before on record Out of Hand, straining the fertile ground, twist, punky rush, and melodic guitar pop, the Lemon Drops are set to tour and release a new single in March. They are currently enjoying their first tour of America back then. The Bodines. This is what they said about the Bodines. 4 Pieces of Gold from Glossop celebrate their major label signing with a previously unreleased live gem called Backdoor. The Bodines had an extremely successful 1986, garnering much critical appreciation and admiration glances from female rock journalists. Apart from this here wonderful record, their first release in 1987 will be a remixed version of the classic Therese, but we call it Thérèse in French, out on February 23rd back then, so I guess 1987. And finally, World Party. World Party will be grooving into the music of Mr. Carl Wallinger, ex-Waterboy. Oh, the Waterboys, I remember that band. Ex-Waterboy. Wallinger is the main man, writer, producer, arranger, and musician of World Party. An alliance of rock, soul, and anything that touches the versatile Mr. W. Carl's track for Record Mirror, World Groove, Do the Mind Gorilla, has just that little bit of down-home 60s soul about it. Ship of Fools is the current World Party single. So there you have it, and check this out. This was like free, and nowadays records are making a comeback. Vinyl is making a comeback in Germany and in the UK and Europe, here too. Yeah, now like these albums go for like $30. Back then we got them for free in magazines that we paid $8 for. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Album. Wait. No, I was right the first time. Look at that. Look at that. 2 sides. 2 sides. Well, again upside down. Wait. Because when I'm doing the video, for me it's reversed. It's like it's a mirror, but it's reversed. You know, like when you're driving and on your rearview mirror, you're gonna see ambulance spelled backwards, reverse. And same thing when I'm doing the video. So I apologize for you know, screwing up and stopping. There you go. No, there you go. Whatever. You get the point. So that's it. Good old days of free records in magazines. And you know what we're going to do right now? If you go to our Twitter timeline, we're going to play. We are going to play Westworld, the Bodines, the Mighty Lemon Drops, and we'll party. Yes! A mini rock festival of classic flashbacks on Emmanuel's Montreal, from London town, and from England, and from the UK. Record Mirror, as Montreal continues.